Are you a school looking to purchase a 3D printer, but not exactly sure what 3D printer to purchase? Well, that's why I created this video to help you guys figure out what the best 3D printer is to get for your school. In this video, I'm going to show you an array of options of possible 3D printers to get and which one will suit your particular needs. So why don't we go over the main brands of 3D printers that exist, or the main types, and the ones that you've probably seen if you've gone on Amazon or something and aren't the best option for you. Now, these printers are usually referred to as Cartesian style printers, where the bed is moved on the y-axis of a 3D printer. And if you look at a graph, like a regular old graph that you've seen in math class, you'll see that you have the x and y-axis. And that's exactly the same thing on a bed of a 3D printer. The x-axis is horizontal and the y is vertical on the bed. And then the z-axis is when you're moving up and down. So Cartesian style printers are when the bed moves forward and backwards on the y-axis, and the extruder moves on the x-axis independently from the bed. Now, a lot of these printers are manufactured in China. Creality, Anycubic, Elegoo, Sunlu, just to name a few of the brands that make these types of 3D printers really popular with hobbyists and enthusiast 3D printer people who love to tinker around with things. These printers aren't the most reliable. They are very cost efficient, and they're great for 3D printing farms, but not for makerspaces in schools. So now let's move on to 3D printers that you might actually be interested in for your school. Now, for me, there's really three main types of 3D printers I would be looking into at your school, and I will recommend one 3D printer after this analysis. Those three brands are Ultimaker, MakerBot, and Dremel. And yes, believe it or not, it's the same Dremel that makes the rotary tools. I will also be including a super cost-efficient wildcard printer that I will throw in towards the end of the video. So let's dive into the specs and the pros and cons of each printer by these brands. I'm going to pick one model out of their lineup that combines cost efficiency, the amount of specs it comes with, and the ease of use of the machine, as all these companies offer multiple machines. Now, the first printer on our list is the Ultimaker S3. The Ultimaker S3 is a powerful dual extrusion 3D printer that is the smaller, more affordable Multimaker, and is noted for how reliable and easy to use a 3D printer it is for professional, industrial, and especially educational use. Now, the build volume is 9 inches by 7.4 inches by 7.9 inches, and as noted before, you can print in multiple materials. Now, I will say this 3D printer, while more cost efficient when it comes to these machines, is still expensive. It's priced at a little over $5,000 on matterhackers.com, but as somebody that has worked with Ultimakers before, I'd say it's a pretty solid printer. Now, let's move on to MakerBot. Now, the MakerBot method is my choice for their lineup. Now, it is a performance-grade, tinker-free 3D printer that brings industrial-grade features into the desktop 3D printer space, featuring high-quality components, including a 60 degrees Celsius heated build chamber, precision dissolvable supports, dry sealed material bays, and dual performance extruder. Method is a perfect choice for printing quick prototypes, fit tests, and concept iterations. While I do not have extensive use with MakerBots as much as I do Ultimakers, they do have a pretty good reputation. They're owned by Stratasys, which is an industrial 3D printing company that makes 3D printers that cost more than the house that you're living in most of the time. But they have brought down their technology from those industrial grade machines and put them into MakerBot, with the heated build chamber being the main sort of feature that they offer. The Ultimaker does not have a heated build chamber, and basically it makes it easier for you to print in high temp materials like ABS, nylon, and carbon fiber. But most of the time for schools, unless you're a college or an engineering program, you won't need to print in those high temp materials. Now on to Dremel. The Dremel Digilab 3D45 can either seen as a fairly excellent or highly limited 3D printer. If you plan on staying within the Dremel ecosystem while you print, the Dremel Digilab is a terrific machine that promotes safety and reliability. But once you decide to stray outside of the manufacturer's proprietary boundaries, the capability of this 3D printer takes a notable nosedive. Now, the Dremel may have a lot of proprietary things, but so does Ultimaker and MakerBot. I know for a fact that with MakerBot, the materials you use have to be MakerBot specific branded material. There's an NFC chip. The machines won't work without those specific materials. I know that MakerBot is moving towards that way, but you can still use open source materials, which means that the spools of filament will be a little bit less expensive. Well, sometimes half, because most of the time those spools run you $40 to $50, even $60 for regular PLA, whereas you can go online and buy $20 spools of filament on Amazon that aren't proprietary and work with a lot of other 3D printers. So all three of those printers have a lot of proprietary parts and materials that you have to use. But if I had my pick out of the three of them, and the Dremel, by the way, is priced at around $2,000 on Amazon, I would pick the Ultimaker. It is the most professional looking. It has, I think, the most features, will be the most reliable, and it's the easiest to work on if it does break. While that's very unlikely to happen, things do break just like your car does and you're not planning on it. They have a great support system. Now, honestly, I think the other two are great choices as well. If you're a little bit of a budget and you have to go with the less expensive machine, those two printers are great as well, which is why I recommend them. But let's go into my wildcard machine that is priced at, believe it or not, under $500. Now, this wildcard printer is called the FlashForge Finder. I actually purchased one of these machines and donated it to a local school, and they have nothing but good things to say about it. It costs $320 on their website, and I think around $350 on Amazon. It's completely open source. You can buy the less expensive materials, and it's very well built. While not fully enclosed like the other printers, it is in a box shape, and it's not a Cartesian style printer like we had talked about before. All four of these printers I've now recommended are called Core XY machines, which offer faster print speeds and usually more detail, but they are a little bit bulkier, which is why you see a lot of times people who need more printers buy the Cartesian style. But I digress. This machine is great. You can buy it in 3 different colors, which is funny. And like I said, it only costs less than $400, and you can buy it on Amazon and have it within a couple of days. Now, the biggest downside of this printer is that if it breaks, you're 1000% on your own. There is no support. You can reach out to the company, but they are based in China. There is a language barrier. And, most of the time when you email them, they're pretty good, but it's not like what you get with the other 3 brands who are all American based. And most of the printers, I believe, are manufactured in America, so you're supporting that sort of homegrown American theme if you are in the States and you want to buy one of these 3 brands. They're all great choices. The FlashForge is great for that school because I'm here, and if they ever have issues with it, I'm just a phone call away and I'll go fix it for them. But I hope this video helped you out in choosing a 3D printer for your school. And if you're interested in any of these machines, I'll leave the link in the description below. Make sure to check out the Ultimaker and the MakerBot on matterhackers.com if you're interested in either of those machines. And make sure to check out the other links in the description below. So thanks, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel for more great 3D printing videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.